away we go.
You're not alone. When the weight feels heavy and the road is long, you've been holding on, trying to stay strong. Doctors and paperwork, so much to face, but here you found a safer place. You're not alone. We're standing by your side, helping you through every twist in the ride. With knowledge, care, and a voice that's true, the Disability Digest is here for you. We've walked the path, we've heard the fight, we know the pain that hides from sight. But every story matters, every win is real. Together we rise, together we heal. You're not alone, we're standing by your side, helping you through every twist in the ride. With knowledge, care, and a voice that's true, the Disability Digest is here for you. From the first form to the final claim, through doubts and fears, through
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Brian Terrian here from the Disability Digest. Nadine and Philip, thank you for joining. And thank you for watching today. And that's our topic today, is actually watching and surveillance. Is Social Security watching you? Do they watch you through the approval process? Do they watch you once you're approved? Maybe they have been. Join us in the comments. If they have, we'd love to hear your story. We're going to share some with you today and some proactive steps that you can take in case you've got a black van parked across the street from your house looking in your living room window. So that's it. So thanks everybody for joining again. Brian Terrian here from the Disability Digest on a record-setting heat day here in Vermont. It's going to reach temperatures it never has before, but I am prepared. I'm going to drink lots of water. So before we get started, Nadine, would you just care to set the table here, explain to people how they can submit their questions, and then we'll explain Philip's presence here.
Sure. So later, I'm going to share with you all a link for you to be able to join us live here in the Zoom room. So before joining, I would like to ask you to drop in your questions in the comments here in our video so that we would be able to already have an idea of what we are going to be talking about. And I would also like to kindly ask that you use the same name on YouTube and Zoom so we can easily organize it recognize your question and whoever is joining. So, yep. And of course, we would like to welcome Philip today in our YouTube event. So Philip, by the way, leads his own disability support community in Facebook, and he is proudly partnered with the Disability Digest. So Brian is going to give more introduction about Philip's group.
Yes. Well, we're proud to be partnered with you. So Philip has a Facebook group that is, I think, one of the largest, if not one of the largest groups that's out there that supports people going through the disability application process. Maybe you're just joined Philip's group or you've been in it for a while. But if you haven't, I encourage you, if you're going through the approval process, to join. So the group partnered with us is providing some support, answering some general questions for you. But mostly it's to engage with other people that have, going through the like experience of loss of income and challenging health situations and seeking their disability income. So Philip, thank you for the great work that you do. And so how we help or would like to help is for those that would like a customized approach to getting their benefits approved. Support group is really one thing, but having the answers and what to do step by step with live people that you can talk to, that's where the Disability Digest comes in. So you can join us as a member. There's no cost. You get access to a disability approval course that works amazing. It's put together with many industry experts, of which one was here last week, Attorney James Mitchell Brown. So you can speak to an advocate, get into the right part of the course, and really find out what it is that you need to do to separate your case from the other 1.9 million people out there that apply for disability benefits. So that's the connection between the two, between the group and how we can help you. So if you have questions in the group, you can just reach out to Philip or others. Sometimes our team is in there as well helping out. So thanks, Philip, for your contribution
So much,
to others
Philip.
for getting them approved. Yeah. We hope to close the gap because there's 687,000 people that Social Security reports get their benefits approved out of the 1.9 million that apply. So I know, like, for those that we work directly with here, it's significantly different. I don't tout our approval statistics and publicly. You can ask anybody here. I just don't feel it's the right thing to do because it's so many variables to it and it's deceiving. So that's it. So surveillance. We have a newsletter that has gone out like earlier this morning, and it has some information regarding surveillance, but this is a common concern for people that are seeking their benefits and are already approved. So if you are concerned about surveillance or have had an experience with the people in the black hats and the black vans, you know, we'd love to hear from you in the comments or come on in and join us here. So I want to go through some information about the surveillance process. First of all, it is a real deal. They do actually have a surveillance team. And commonly, to have surveillance done on you, it's typically triggered by something. It may be a neighbor reported you, or maybe you've been doing some work and somebody reported you working, or you're doing, like, oftentimes people get triggered if they're doing work and getting paid under the table and not reporting it, trying to get away with stuff. So the first thing to avoid any surveillance or any suspicion is to follow the regulations, right? I also think it's important for people, once you get approved, like we just had one lady that just went through the approval process with us, and she'll be getting $156,000 in back pay. Like, when you get that amount of money or you get your benefits, just go on about your business. I encourage you, it's just me. And, you know, people ask you and you certainly want to celebrate. We'd like to hear from you if you celebrate, but don't make a big deal out of it. Just, you know, say, yeah, I got approved and, you know, that's it. I'm not able to work. So I got my Social Security. I want to go through a few real life examples for you to kind of give you some context of what has actually happened to people. And also at the end of today's show, we'll put a link in from a prior recorded episode with an industry expert on surveillance. But there was a gentleman who owned a diner. It was a disability recipient. It's a true story. And I'm going to give you the condensed version. And so he wasn't able to work in the diner, but the diner was still in his name. So he was advised to put it in his children's name. But he'd go to the diner because it's a big part of his life. He'd go there at 8 in the morning and drink coffee and leave early in the afternoon. But it triggered an activity for surveillance. So he was watched, and they developed all this footage, and then they sent him a document, and they called him in for an overpayment saying he's working. And the whole thing went to court. And yes, they had all kinds of footage, but he was footage of him sitting in a booth at the diner drinking coffee. He didn't work. He didn't collect any money. He did everything right. So that particular surveillance team got a, do something more productive with your time. Another individual was approved for disability with back issues, and he appeared to be walking out normally and was fine. Didn't have any cane or any other device. But he still had severe chronic pain. Different people can deal with different conditions, so it's not like what you have, it's how it impacts you. This gentleman still couldn't work, but they felt that because he was able to walk around, that he was able to work. So he got off the hook for that one. Here's another one. This is a winner. So somebody was in the grocery store shopping, and they were walked up and approached, and they were asked for, like, where's the milk question. And this individual responded in English because they were asked in English. And so they got called on it because they were approved for disability because they weren't able to speak English, and English was their second language. So this one, again, went to court, it was heard, and the disability recipient is like, yeah, I mean, I know where the milk is. I understand that in English, but I don't know how to speak English. It doesn't exemplify that I can work or hold a job. So that one was also let go. So if you want to go on our YouTube channel and type in surveillance, you can find out, other real life stories where people have had the experiences happen to them, but those are a few. Here's the takeaways on this. If you do what you are required to do in your award letter and that we coach you to do, the best advice and where I want to get people to is you don't have to worry about this. They can do all the surveillance they want on you. So what we coach you to do in these events and the advocates that are here is go to your doctors. Journal and bring your limitations. Make sure those limitations are consistently communicated to your doctor in writing. And your doctor puts them into the medical records, like you're a broken record. So every time Social Security comes through, they'll see those. So regardless of what they come up with for surveillance, it's your medical records that are going to really be the insurance for you. So you can open your blinds up, you can mow your lawn, you can paint your house, you can do things like that, but you just can't do them like 3-4 hours a day. If you mow your lawn and it takes 30 minutes and you have to take a break and you're done for the day, that stuff is totally fine. That's life. That's not violating anything to do with your Social Security disability. Remember, you must be able to work full time, and mowing your lawn for 30 minutes is not that. Painting your house, getting the mail, going to the grocery store. Okay. All right. So that's it. Love to hear from you if you've got some feedback on that. And I will put in the chat here for Nadine to add later. This is Attorney James Mitchell Brown, most recent event on surveillance. All right, so let's do this. Let's pivot to some questions. And as Nadine said, we'd love to have you come on in. You can ask us a question, kind of like The Price is Right. You can ask Philip the question. You can see if Philip Price is right. Right, that type of thing. So, all right, how do we want to go about this?
Yeah, if Philip has questions from his group, I think
Wonderful.
it would be best for us to start with that so that we can, answer
Yeah.
those questions first.
Okay. First question here. I'm in the process of applying for the compassionate allowance provision because I have metastatic breast cancer and I get chemo every 21 days. I used up my FMLA and from my employer and lost my job in the early June. I can't work for the first week after chemo, but I do feel better and could work part-time in days 10 through 21 after my chemo. I read that when you are on SSDI that you can make up to $1,600, $1,600 a month. Can I do that now while I'm waiting, or should I wait until I'm approved?
Well, we're talking about the working and applying for disability benefits, right? And cancer is a tricky one because Social Security could look at your situation and say, geez, you know what? We think that in 8 or 10 months, you're going to be able to work. So here's what you want to keep in mind. If you're doing work while you're going through the approval process, regardless of what your condition is, and Social Security looks at it, they allow you to apply if you're earning like $1,620 a month or less. It's really hard to get those approved. So it's going to depend on like what your age is, what you've been doing for work, all right? So those are the variables. I also wonder if Social Security disability is actually a solution for you, because if you can go back to work, right? Did you
Yeah.
get that vibe as well, Philip?
Yeah, I did.
I would say this, if you haven't already, join us as a member. Come on in. When you join as a member, it's no cost. You can get access to our information, resources, and courses, but you can talk to an advocate here and they could give you a better idea of like where your situation is at. So I'd suggest that.
Yep. All right, next question. I'm 60 years old. I have diagnosis of degenerative disc disease, osteoarthritis,
Yep.
possible AS to determine. My limitations involve my sleeping, sitting, standing, bending, driving. My education is high school diploma with a limited PC skills. My health is getting worse to where I will have to stop working my part-time job. I need to apply for SSDI. How long would I need to stop working before applying? Pretty much following up that same
Yeah, there's a
question.
lot of things here. One thing I do want to give a shout out to this individual is they express their limitations. Most people
Yeah.
don't, although they could be done better. But I applaud you for that. So we have no idea how much this individual is making, right?
No, didn't say.
And the work was driving work.
Uh, yes.
Okay. I'm going to take a shot at it this way. I don't have an answer, but I'm going to give you a few things to consider in this situation. If you've been doing the same type of work for 5 years or more, then the premise of your disability case would be to prove that you're not able to do that. So then the question becomes like, what next? If you have a part-time job, I just expressed the challenges of part-time work. But if you're 60 and you're not able to do your primary occupation and maybe you're doing something part-time that's different and your income is like at the hobby level, like below $400 a month, then it could be, that could still work. The best strategy to consider is that you just stop work and you look at it this way. Stop work, got to figure out how to get through it. I'm going to give this thing a real shot to get my benefits approved. Then when you get your benefits approved, then you go back to work. Because you can go back to work and earn at the time of this event, $1,160 a month. Still keep all your benefits. You should be like 20% below that. So let's call it $900. So you can earn $900, keep your disability check. It's just really the process of getting there. The best way to get there is to not work. That's your chance of getting the fastest decision. Again, one of these situations, come in, if you haven't already, join us at the Disability Digest, connect with an advocate. They can kind of fine tune it, understand better what you have, your conditions, your work, all that stuff. Get you going in the right direction.
All right. Next one. Can someone explain auxiliary benefits to me and how to get them? I was just awarded SSDI and have a son who is 13 years old. Does he get benefits through me? Does he have to be disabled? Because he is not. He had ADHD, but he's not disabled. If he does get benefits through me, does he have to have his own savings account, and does the money received through me can only be used for him, and can it be used for bills?
All right, so auxiliary benefits, your children under 18 receive benefits. Yes, they do. And your information can be added to obtain those. It should have been added when you filed your initial application, but if you did it on your own, you didn't know that, maybe you missed it. So then, yes, so they would receive 50% of your check is a common a situation. If you have multiple kids, then all your children receive benefits up to a family maximum. So it's like 150% of your check is a maximum amount they would get. So what you need to do in your situation is go back to Social Security. Sorry, but you got to do it. And have that added in. Now, you can use that money. Yes, it does need to go into a separate account, and you can use it at their discretion. Your discretion could be used for bills. You could charge them rent. Wouldn't that be great for some of you, huh? Did I cover all the aspects of that question?
I believe so.
All right.
All right, the next one here is a little long, so bear with me here.
Okay.
Would you have any info on what I could do? I asked in another group. Uh-oh. I haven't heard yet, but here's a copy of what I put. I got it the first, I'm assuming she's talking about SSDI. I got it the first try within a few months of submitting my application. I'm so thankful for that, the support I get from my doctors and specialists. Only thing, I'm quite upset about it. I paid an attorney to do it, and he never mentioned that my minor child could get auxiliary benefits. Once I was approved for SSDI and Social Security, never mentioned it either. So we lost $1,000 a month and struggle and still struggle. He would have only had it till he graduated high school, but that's 3 years. I can't believe it would have helped us so much. So this is another auxiliary thing, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to say about that other than be careful who you hire. I don't know how long ago it was, or if you could go back and get it. I don't know if there's a statute of limitations on that. I haven't been faced with this question before. If you're a member at the Disability Digest, then if you don't know the answer to that and want to send a bit more detail, send it in. We'll take a look at it.
Okay, that was the last one for the
Um,
group today.
Wonderful.
All right. So we are now opening the room for those who wants to join us live and ask their questions for us. I just sent the link in the comments. So again, please make sure that you use the same name on YouTube and Zoom so that we can easily recognize you. And Brian, while we wait for someone to join us live, I do have a couple of questions that I want to run through here. This is an interesting one. This is from Facebook, actually. It's a question from Tammy Stricker. He was asking, what is the benefit of working with a representative at the Disability Digest versus a disability attorney?
Good question. Depends on what the disability attorney is, what their experience is. I mean, for us, I'll give you the short answer. When I started doing this business in 2007, we would have people come here looking for representation and I would refer them out to individuals. But I got like 3 years into this and I started to see some chinks in their armor, like things that I felt they should do that they didn't. And so I also felt that it would be helpful for members that didn't want to use a representative to have a course and that they shouldn't have to pay for it. So the difference here, one big difference is when you come here, you have access to the disability approval course. And it has really the same core fundamentals step by step that we train our team that gets amazing results that represents people. So you get that. And then we are in hopes that you never need an attorney because we win our cases at a very aggressive rate at the initial and the reconsideration level. But if you did need an attorney, I am not one. I am an approved Social Security disability representative that can represent cases and get paid directly from Social Security. And I choose not to do hearings. And this is really the only part where I feel an accomplished attorney could be of value. Now, I could do these. I have full authority to go into court and argue on your behalf. It's public information that's out there. It's law, right? But in this area, we have people that do hearings for us. Many of them are in the course or guest speakers here. So the difference would be the course, our experience, the custom work that we do, and you can follow along and you can see like, all right, I know how the SSA 3369 form should be filled out because they're giving me the directions and oh, I can send it into them and they're going to review it and make sure I did my work right. So those are some of the differences. So
I think I would agree with that, like having the course along with our representation, that makes a huge difference because you can follow through and you know that your representative is doing what they're supposed to do because you know the process, right? So
I have just maybe one more thing.
sure.
The people think lawyer, attorney when they're seeking somebody, which may be fine. But as a non-attorney representative, I have to adhere to a higher standard of representation knowledge than an attorney. All an attorney needs to do is pass the bar. They don't need to go through annual certification. They don't need to go through ethics training every year, which I don't agree with. I firmly believe that if they're going to do this work, they should be held to the same standard as everybody else. Just because they maybe passed the bar 30 years ago doesn't mean they're good at this, right? So you're dealing, especially now, you're paying $9,200 if it goes all the way to the distance. So you need to be aware of that. And if you do hire the right person and they're putting the custom work in at the initial application stage, then you have a good chance of getting approved without paying the full fee. That's another thing. So I'll end it on that.
So much for that, Brian. Now we have a question here from Rick Watson. He was asking, does SSDI and Medicare exchange info? I was supposed to have a 1-year review 3 years ago, but I haven't. I have a whole lot of activity on Medicare that would indicate a lot of treatment going on.
That's a really good question. I do not know that they do that because if you go through a CDR and it gets to the point where they're going to pull your medical records, they go directly to the treating source. That's my knowledge. I don't know that they go to Medicare, who you might have Medicare Advantage. All Medicare really is the insurance umbrella. You either have Medicare Advantage plan, which 97% of you do, or you have a Medigap plan. But those are the insurances that don't necessarily track your treatment regime, the conditions that you have, the severity of them.
Okay, we have a question from Kimberly Kane. Is the $1,160 a month working while on disability gross amount or net?
So if you are employed by somebody, then it would be your gross amount. If you are doing something at like on your own or an independent contractor, it is your net after you reduce your income with your expenses.
Right. That gives you some clarity, Kimberly. Another question here from Jim. Would cutting my grass on a rider mower every 10 days be considered work?
If you can find a job that you can do every 10 days and get paid a full-time salary for it, then that'd be great, but no. No, so you're not doing something 40 hours a week engaged in full-time gainful activity.
All right.
You could
Another
even make a
question.
business, sorry, you could even make a business out of that. Cut some of your neighbors' lawns, right? This guy actually did this. He actually was a member here and he bought a mower with his back pay and his wife got pissed, pardon my French. And he's like, I want to keep the mower. I don't want to give it back. Got to find out a way to pay for it. So he picked up some lawns in the neighborhood. Everybody wins.
Oh, he was denied.
Okay, go ahead. That first part
Oh,
was clippy. Repeat it,
oh,
please.
sorry about that. Yeah. So again, this is a question from Vincent. He said he was denied SSDI on Friday, July 11, and he's on appeal reconsideration stage. SSA system will not permit to file an appeal for hearing with my secure login. Any clue? Thanks.
I don't know what state he's in because if you're in one of the 10 states where there is not reconsideration, then you have a technology glitch and you would need to go manual by completing the paperwork. If you're in a reconsideration state, then you need to file a reconsideration and not a hearing. That could be just the glitch. So whichever it is, the disability approval course has a step that would help you with that. So if you're already in the disability approval course and you just changed from applied and waiting and now you're applied and denied, then you'd want to contact our team here and they would put you into the next segment of the disability approval course, again, depending on what state you're in. You want to make sure that you follow the directions to look at your denial and your appeal, so that if it is a reconsideration, that you file it with some grounds as to why you're asking for a reconsideration. That's a very short explanation of what's in that segment of the disability approval course.
We have a question from Savannah. She said, "This is a weird question, but would SSA send someone to take pictures of where you live?"
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. By the way, we got a message from Vincent. He said he is in New York.
This is the reconsideration guy.
Yeah, the reconsideration guy.
I'm not sure. I believe New York is a reconsideration state, but out of memory, I don't know.
Okay. And then just want to mention we have a shout out here from Rudy. If you can remember him, he shared his success story with us. He was just saying, "Hey Brian, thank you for the gift card." He said he really appreciates that.
Yep, yep. Good. Actually, if I could have a moment, I do want to give a shout out on, I have a question and two shout outs regarding gift cards. First one is a question that came in about this. I don't know if anybody's heard, there's this bill that passed. It's a beautiful bill, opposed supposedly. But the question is, will my United Healthcare dual complete be cut out because of the big beautiful bill? I get $272 a month for groceries, utilities, and all that. I don't know. But here's the thing, there's a lot of movement, not just with the Medicaid decrease in funding that will influence the dual eligibility and all the goodies that go in those programs. But also the many of the insurance companies were caught in an investigation that did not go well. And the New York Times did an investigation that blew the whistle on some of their practices. So it's really going to put a tightening on what's going on in the Medicare world. Some of the things that they were doing is they were doing home visits, which is great if done right. But they were diagnosing people with conditions that they didn't have, so they could get paid more, like glaucoma, diabetes, and other conditions like that. So I put out other information on this. So the thing is, as we get into September and you receive those notices of change, which some are coming out early this year, you want to make sure that you review your benefits, all of that. Here at the Disability Digest, we have a team in place that for members will review your benefits. It's part of your membership. There's no charge for it. We'll help you understand like what you have. Are you using everything properly? Are there things that you're entitled to that you're not getting? Are you paying for things that you shouldn't be? And then when the new plans come out, we can help you understand if there's one that's going to be like a better fit for you, or if you should just hold, right? So that's one. Two is within the last, let's say 2 weeks, we, dispersed money to Rudy and others, like $600, let's say somewhere around there. So we have a refer a friend program where you can refer people to us and work and partner with us to help them through the approval process. We pay you $100 to refer them, and then another $100 when they win. They can even win and represent themselves with our approval course. So that's one way money's getting sent out. Others that have success stories like Rudy that used some of our work and are willing to share their story, we send them money like that. So we're always, there are different ways in which you can work with us, and we have positions that are open here for people to do work, like Philip and Nadine. So there's different ways in which we could work together if you so choose to, and like us and the work that we do. So come check it out. All right, back to you.
So we still have a couple of questions here from the chat, but then again, everyone, I put the link in the comments. If you want to join us live, feel free to join us. So a question here from Kimberly Kane. I don't know if we have an answer to this, Brian, but she is wondering, would SSA place small hidden cameras around their properties for surveillance?
I don't know if they would do that. I know that they do video. I know they do things like that. I have not heard of that.
All right. Another question from Kin. It's spelled Kin. I think I'm pronouncing it correct. Is it normal that after a fully favorable decision from ALJ, it went to the local FO for final review on their website, but after 2 days, it went to OHO? I don't know about these acronyms. Thank you in advance.
That's not usual. The usual flow is you have a hearing and the OHO is Office of Hearing Operations. It's dealt with there. The decision writer writes a decision based on the judge's findings, and you get that decision favorable, hopefully, but could be unfavorable. And then from there, it goes to another office called the Payment Center. So yours was pulled for review, which I know that happens, but that's not common.
But it happens. Okay. Another question here from Scorpio Lane. My husband, 59, union glazier for 26 years, even up with blood clots, bypass, neuropathy, cannot stand long, walk far, but was denied. Now in appeal and just had another procedure. Should that help his car? I'm not sure what she meant by CAR, if that's an
Probably
acronym.
case, maybe, or some
Okay, so maybe. Yeah.
I don't know
Yep.
what the procedure was, so that's difficult. You know, if the procedure was something that is not going to impact his ability to work, then maybe not. I don't know. But one of the things I do hear in that is I don't have any idea what the limitations are, which if you've been following us for a while, then you've probably heard me say before, it's not about the conditions, it's about the limitations.
All right. Got a question here from Brooke. Are the 3-year reviews on time every time? I've been hearing since they've caught workers that maybe it won't be on time.
They are not on time. And there has been information released from Social Security about the adjustments and the continuing disability reviews. They're not going to go away. They're going to intensify because they've invested $52 million more into the continuing disability reviews for Q4 of this year and 2026. Why? Because the whole Doge thing is about saving money. So they're going to do a few things. They're going to reduce the short form, which is like a disability checkup. And then they're going to increase these long forms with their newfound $52 million. So again, you know, just do the doctor part that I've talked about in this program. For those of you concerned about your benefits, I do want to let you know that as part of your benefit review here at the Disability Digest that I mentioned earlier, is an advocate will explain to you in detail our benefit protection program, which simply works like this. If we provide you with an option for an insurance option for Medicare, like you change from one plan to another, could even be with the same company, or you start with us and you are an insurance client here of one of the agents at the Disability Digest, then that entitles you entry into our benefit protection program. So when you get your review, you have support from us in that we provide you with a course and like how to fill out the forms, how to prepare for the forms. You send us the forms. We review the forms, make sure they're done right. You send them back to Social Security. Hopefully it goes away. But if it doesn't, and there's a next step, we provide you with legal support so that you can get out of it. Your case goes back to court. We support you there. So it's a no cost extra layer of support is with the benefit protection program. And if you're like, how did they do that? And they don't charge anything. Well, here's the deal with insurance companies. I'm an insurance agent as well as others here. If we find a solution for you and enroll you in it, it's the same cost. Like Medicare Advantage plans, there's no premium for most of them. But we get paid to do the work, to help you out, help you service it, understand it, check in with you annually. So we get paid. So it's our interest to keep you in your pay status for your Social Security disability benefits. So that's the win for us.
Guess that's a win-win then.
We hope so.
Yeah.
And
All
by the
right.
way, we have not had one person in the benefit protection program going in our third year now that has lost their benefits. Not one.
That's good news. All right. One last question here from the comments. It's from Victoria. She said, I'm getting a windfall from a workman's compensation. How do I do this without sacrificing my monthly payments? I'm on SSDI for 4 years. I am 64.
I don't know. There's so many offsets with that. Hopefully it's, you know, it's not going to be an offset. Here's one thing that you want to do is the work comp attorney can put in your award letter for workers' compensation that whatever monies you receive, let's call it $20,000, is to compensate you for the rest of your lifetime. And then it amortizes that. So let's say your actual actuary table, yeah, that's what they call it. Let's say your actuary table is you're going to live another 20 years. So that would be $1,000 a year amortized, right, over the next 20 years of your lifetime, so that whatever that offset is would be a smaller amount of money than taking the whole $20,000 at once. So that is called the Hartman regulation. Hartman regulation. So if you're a member here at the Disability Digest, you can contact us. We'll send it to you. You bring it to your work comp attorney, tell them, make sure this is in here. Or you can Google Hartman. Not many people know about it. So I don't know if you're going to find a good YouTube source, but that's the deal.
That was the last question from me.
All right. Wonderful. How about that? So I hope everybody has lifted their shades, going to go to the grocery store in peace. The person with the cameras in their backyard, smile and wave and say you're going to the doctors. I don't know. You can hold up your limitations in front of the camera. I can't sit, I can't stand, I can't work.
Yeah.
Try that. That's good. Listen, folks, I want to thank you for coming, taking time out of your day to spend with us. It's a pleasure for us to be able to do this work for you. We're here most Wednesdays, and we'll be back next Wednesday with a new program. So if you're new here again, welcome. The best way we can help you, of course, subscribe, share this information. If you know somebody that might think they're being watched or need approval help. And if you're not a member and that sounds like something that would be beneficial for you, remember there's no cost. You get a customized approach, and you even get a chance to maybe talk with one of these two wonderful individuals here. So on that note, make it a great day until next week. Thank you all.
All right.
Bye for now.
See y'all.
Bye for now. See y'all.